Hello everybody, nice to meet you. Very welcome to our new PROFORTE heat series, PROFORTE versus Catalytic afterburner, a cost-benefit analysis. My name is David Helmes. I'm a technical sales engineer and I have been working since 2016 at PROFORTE. And I am responsible for the Mexican market in the industrial segment. Together we do a heat session in a new format. Together we are two Davids. Welcome, David.
Yeah, thanks, David. Yeah, thanks for the nice introduction. So as you mentioned, my name is also David. For those of you who don't know me yet, I'm the responsible area sales manager here at PROFORTE for East Europe region. And also I'm working here as a key account manager. So nice to meet you. So you know that the topics of sustainability, environment and so on are very big topics in the industry, of course also in the coffee industry. And therefore, it is also a big topic here at PROFORTE because we want to be able to provide you, our customers and friends, with the best possible solution, technologies, equipment that help you to fulfill all your requirements, especially for sustainability. Of course, we all know that quality has its costs. And therefore, we often get receive the feedback from our customers that, for example, for our best exhaust air gas treatment, so the PROFORTE system, which reduce emissions after the roasting process, that the investment cost of this high quality system is quite high compared to other solutions on the market. Yeah, that's true, if we're just talking about investments costs. But from our perspective, we should also take in consideration the operational cost, because that are the costs that will occur all over the time during the, let's say, lifetime of the equipment. So, from my perspective, it is worth to make a comparison in this heat session today. So, between the most common technologies. On the one side is the catalytic system, and on the other side, as I already mentioned, the PROFORTE system. What do you think, David? Should we do this to show our viewers a little bit about this?
Yes, David. I think it's a great idea. Thank you very much therefore. But first of all, maybe we can show our customers and viewers a kind of a rough overview of those exhaust gas treatment systems,
sure.
Either the catalytic afterburner or the PROFORTE system, and then we have everybody on the same page, and then we can look deeper into the amortization, I have to say.
Perfect.
Yeah?
Let's do it. So maybe I can start with our catalyzer system. So you can see it here at the screen. So in general, the catalytic afterburner system is a very much common system for exhaust air gas treatment in the market. So you have, let's say, an additional burner for this exhaust air gas treatment. So the first burner, of course, is for the roasting machine. We all know that. But the second burner in the roasting system is then to heat up the roasting exhaust air, which is coming from the roasting machine. You see it on the right side. So the exhaust air coming from the roaster is nearly 180 degrees. And we want to heat up with this additional burner the air to 450 degrees Celsius, because that's the temperature that we need to have a catalytic reaction. And in this catalytic reaction, nearly all emissions, or let's say most of the emissions, will be reduced. And after this catalytic reaction, we have a temperature of nearly 630 degrees Celsius. And let's say, to give you a short overview, so you have non-product specific odors after this system. You have no visible roasting exhaust air gases. Sometimes you see the water content from the roasting process, but this is depending on the weather conditions. Yeah, I think that is a rough overview about the catalytic system. But now we can dive into the more, let's say, complex one. So the PROFORTE system. So David, I would like to hand over to you again. So maybe you can give us an overview about the PROFORTE system.
Great. I'm going to go to the screen and then I'm going to explain you guys. Yeah, here you can see a typical Proforte exhaust gas treatment. So this is the Proforte system itself. So what we're going to do, once we have installed the roasting system with the roasting cyclone, and from the air pipe from the after the roasting cyclone, we're going into that inlet of the Proforte exhaust gas treatment. And with the Proforte system, we are able to eliminate almost all the exhaust. And then we're gonna go through a fan. We bring the hot air to a ceramic bed, and then we're gonna go from the top to the bottom. And the middle of the ceramic bed, it's roughly 1,100 degrees Celsius hot. So this is the reason why we are able to eliminate almost all the exhaust. And once we are doing this, the center here, it's moving from the top to the bottom also. So as you can see, after a certain time, it's not working anymore because the hot center is moved to the bottom. What we're going to do then? Here we do have air flaps, respectively dampers. We will switch those. Then we go with the exhaust air this way. We storage the uncleaned exhaust air in a big buffer tank. And once the dampers are switched, the position is flipped back. We go via a bypass pipeline back to the inlet of the Proforte system. And then we're going to go from the either top to the bottom or bottom to the top. So literally, we are able to clean all the exhaust gas. And once we have done this, then it's a very common way, like David explained already. We're going through a chimney, basically a chimney or an air exhaust duct line into the open. Maybe we can continue to the next screen. So what are other benefits of the Proforte system? As David explained, basically, or in general, for one catalytic afterburner, we do have one roasting system. It's a strict and clear, I have to say, connection between those systems. For the Proforte systems, we are more advanced in our experience, I have to say. So we can connect either one roasting system or two roasting systems, or sometimes it's also possible to connect three roasting systems. And as you can see here, literally we do only need one exhaust gas treatment instead of one exhaust gas treatment for one roaster. So this is also a first step to save money and to do something good for the environment.
Okay. Thank you very much, David, for this, let's say, special insight. So I think that was very interesting also for the viewers. So, of course, if we want to compare now the catalytic afterburner and the Proforte system in regard to the total costs, we have to make some, let's say, general basis to compare, to make it comparable, let's say. Yeah? As you mentioned, so for example, we need to take a base if we're talking about one roaster or two roasters or whatever. So maybe it makes sense if I go to the board and I will write down some general points. So that will be then our, let's say, base for our calculation. And later on we can see what is about the total costs. What do you think? Yeah?
Sounds good. Great idea. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Okay. So what do you think? To which we should start? With which one?
I think the first thing we should take into consideration is the quantity of roasters we're gonna connect to the Proforte system.
Okay.
So let's make a kind of a play again.
Yeah.
We will consider a certain project. And let's connect two Neptune 1500 on the Proforte system.
Neptune 1500 are very common type, let's say. So that's a typical, let's say, base, let's say, for that. So I write down Neptune 1500. So two, yes?
So the roasting capacity of the Neptune 1500 is, in the best case, 1,500 kilograms per hour.
Yeah.
So the total roasting capacity will be roughly 3,000 kilograms per hour.
Yeah. So 3 tons green coffee per hour, right?
So what else we have to consider? It's very important to figure out how many hours our customers are roasting with these roasting machines. For example, let's consider, it's very common for that side of a facility, let's consider 16 hours per day. So that will
two
be
shifts,
two shifts, right?
So 16 hours per day. And how many days we should consider?
Let's say 330 days per year.
330?
Right, yeah.
I think that's a realistic calculation. Because of course you need some times for cleaning, for maintenance. So I think that's a good base.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and I did also some calculations, and in total we're gonna roast then 5,280 hours per year.
5,280?
80 hours, right.
Hours per year. Okay. So what about, let's say, let's say, so we know that the catalytic afterburner uses an additional burner, so we need some amount of gas. The PROFORTE system also needed to warm up at the beginning, but as you explained, later on during the process, it's self-heating. But of course, if we do now the comparison, we should take the same amount of, let's say, money per gas unit, let's say. That's right, right?
Exactly. This is the first thing we should do. We should always, to make it comparable, to compare apples with apples, we will consider the same pricing for electricity, the same pricing for gas rates, and of course the same pricing for labor cost.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this because particularly for the catalytic afterburner, we need labor costs because after a certain time we have to change, for example, the catalytic cassettes. Sure. And of course, for this type of calculation, you need labor, and labor is equal to cost.
Yeah. So let's say the base for the comparison is absolutely the same. So maybe we can now see the result of this comparison. Should we present it now?
Exactly, please.
Okay. So of course we did a calculation beforehand, and let's say that is the result of this graph. And yeah, you can see the gray line is the total cost for the catalyzer exhaust air gas treatment, and the blue line is for the PROFORTE. So you see on the bottom line it's the time, so in years, and you see at year 0, so that's the time for invest, let's say. You see that the PROFORTE needs a much more higher invest like the catalyzer, right? But if you see then the lines going up, that's then the operational cost, because of course naturally you have costs if you want to operate equipment. And the important thing is the point in which both lines are crossed. And that is the break-even point. And that is nearly after 2.5 years. And that means at the break-even point, the total costs are absolutely the same. But the interesting thing is then, if you go further in time, you see that the PROFORTE system is lower in the total cost compared to the catalyzer, right? And that's a very interesting, let's say, thing that we need to discuss, David, I think.
Absolutely. I think in a nutshell, the PROFORTE system itself, it's paid off itself incredibly fast, and kinda intuitively, you wouldn't expect that.
No, that's also the feedback that we often get from our customers. If they see the quotation, they see the amount of invest, they say, oh, it's nearly, I don't know, it's much more expensive compared to catalyzer systems, which is true, but the operational costs are also important, as we see.
My colleagues from the technical departments and I myself, we developed that, it's an Excel tool, and we really look forward that you go in contact with us, and we would be glad to make some calculations for you to figure out what is the best solution for you, the best suitable solutions. And even if you have kind of concerns in terms whatever, maybe you're gonna say to us, oh, I'm not sure if I have the space requirements for that type of exhaust gas treatment for the PROFORTE system. So I'm used to the catalytic afterburners. It's not a problem. I think we will make it possible. Our engineers, they can make a layout planning for you, and then we can discuss it more in detail, either in your roastery or here at PROBOT with a good cup of coffee. And you are very welcome, and we are proud and happy to help you to find the best possible solution.
Yeah, thank you very much for this very nice summarizing of this topic. So I cannot give any more information on that. Just as David mentioned, so if you have any idea to invest in an exhaust air gas treatment, please come in contact with your sales team, with your local agent. And then, of course, we are able to use your local parameters like capacities, numbers of roasters, price for gas, price for electricity, and so on and so on. And then you will have a clear overview when at your, let's say, facility, we can do the break-even point compared to a PROFORTE and Catalytic system. We hope that this heat session came up to your expectations. We hope that we can give you some insights or let's say an overview about the topic of break-even points, total costs for exhaust air gas treatment. So for some of you it was quite surprisingly, I hope. And I'm looking forward to working with you on this kind of project in the future. So looking forward also to welcome you in our next heat session. So stay tuned. Thank you very much for your time, and then see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.